For a person who never watches the news, the Lord sure leads me to the best stuff that's relevant. So, look at this. 13 hours ago. I love that word 15. Let's listen to the news and just see what God is manifesting here. He's doing this. It's a manifestation of the spiritual and the natural. Because the waters are going to come up, aren't they? Blessed are those who believe without seeing. I've seen a dream. It's good enough for me. It's better than... It's as good as the real thing. Let's have a look.
Tonight as a powerful storm dumps rain across the top of the South Island. We have extensive coverage tonight and we'll bring you live updates from civil defence officials in the worst hit areas. We begin on the west coast, where Westport is cut off with both the town's main bridges out of action. Katie Stevenson reports.
The Buller River beyond its banks, in streets, gardens and homes on the outskirts of Westport, after rising to levels never seen before.
The original planning for this flood event, when it was, when it arose, was a 1 in 50 year event. It's very clear now this is more like a 1 in 100 year event.
It was a rough night for those in low-lying areas of the town. Over 800 people evacuated last night.
I knock on the door at 1 o'clock in the morning to pack a bag and get out.
So we arrived about midnight with some gear, got ourselves sorted.
More evacuations throughout the day, with the Buller Bridge closing early this afternoon. The Defence Force joining local emergency workers knocking on doors with the call, head to high ground.
We're more here in a supporting role to assist.
So when I see the sheep drum, I stop at a bridge. I don't even have my courier there. I'm at this bridge. There's a man behind me in a car. He's standing there waiting. I look down the left side of the bridge. I can see the rails. Now there's 2 bridges. How many bridges went out? 2 bridges. I'm looking down the rail. Now there's a land, like a wee bridge of land. Then there's a second bridge. On the second bridge, I see on the rail sheep, like literal sheep, real sheep, not cartoons. And they're jumping off into a dry riverbed. That's my heads up. I go from the bridge to my right on this dry riverbed, and I am like a machine, like Elijah, or a Space Invader game, jumping from rock to rock as fast as I can, and I get to the top and I'm on high ground. And the Lord showed me. I wrote the dream down. That the water, because the ocean was to my left. The water didn't come from the ocean. Well, this water didn't come from the ocean, did it? 2 bridges got knocked out. Now I saw that water rise right up and I was on high enough ground. Now that's why the Lord says I'm sitting pretty. Now nearly 6 months later, after that, he shows me, well, I'm telling you it would have to have been after the 22nd of the 11th, because it was after the baptism. The 22nd of the 11th, 2020. It was after the baptism that the Lord revisited. I got up in the morning and he said, "You're the Highlander." Just at the same time, Paul Clement told me that he was somehow from the same place as W. William Wallace. Well, the Lord wanted to make a point, because there's a cave that William Wallace hid in, that Paul Clement, who's had the baptism, traces his family line to. Then the Lord wanted to make a point that I wasn't W. William Wallace. I was Rob Roy. And that's the Highlander. Because of the tartan. Now, once I got saved and I was engaged to my husband, I still had an exhibition at Dunedin Art Gallery. And the Lord showed me, he led me to a picture of me outside in the gallery below my art at Dunedin Public Art Gallery, an exhibition called Off Centre for women who lived outside of city areas and rural areas, which is what I was, and I qualified. And I was wearing, because I was trying to be a good Christian, a tiny little black jersey and a little tartan skirt. The tartan was exactly identical to Rob Roy's tartan, and I'm the Highlander. So we'll just watch the West Coast aspect of this.
The community and evacuations, cordons, and distributing food and water to staff personnel.
Overnight, authorities were worried about the period between midnight and 4 a.m. when large swells were forecast with the high tide. The Mayor was pleased, though, that didn't cause major problems. But today, as rain continued to fall, concerns didn't go away.
This is the worst it's ever been for at least 40 years.
We're encouraging people to still stay where they are at the moment. It's getting, we're still waiting to see what this river's going to do. It's certainly not dropping at this stage. And we're really getting quite concerned around the periphery of Westport.
Residents are now also being asked to conserve water. Westport remains cut off tonight. The red weather warning is in place until early tomorrow morning. Katie Stevenson, One News.
And you saw Bulla District Mayor Jamie Klein there in Katie's report. He's with me now for the latest. Mayor Klein, what is happening right now?
Good evening, Melissa. Look, today we've seen unprecedented flooding in and around Westport and surrounding areas, and extreme flooding in some of our rural areas. So right now we've been extending the evacuation area in parts of Westport, largely due to the Orowati River, which takes a lot of the overflow from the much larger Bulla River, and that is now flowing into parts of town. So it's a big expansion, really, of the evacuations.
So you are evacuating more people right now?
Yes, the team have been working on that today, and they've been moved to welfare centres or to friends and family that are in high and dry parts of town.
How many people do you think you're talking about?
So now we're looking at over 2,000 people have been evacuated, displaced, with the as a result of today's expansion of the area, and we're still dealing with road closures, both bridges closed in and out of Westport. So Westport is an island right at the minute, with the Orowati on one side and the Bulla on the other.
Can you just describe, we're seeing some pictures now, but how would you describe what you've seen today?
I've never seen anything like it. I went up for an aerial recon in a helicopter today with a very senior former civil defence controller, and he's never seen anything like it in his 40-odd years service to emergency management. So certainly in the Bulla Gorge, there is water over the road up there that we've never seen in places like that, and the water coming through from the Bulla to the Orowati overflow is just phenomenal. Never seen anything like it.
And Mayor Klein, just before we go, can you reiterate what residents need to know going into tonight?
Yeah, so tonight it is just absolutely critical that people follow directions of staff, remain in the welfare centres, all with your family and friends, and we're aiming to review the situation mid-morning tomorrow. There really is no point and no opportunity for you to return home tonight. It's just the risks are still just very evident.
I know that you've had a very frantic day, Jamie Klein, Bulla District Mayor. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
There you go. Okay, so Westport is it's quite a wee way up from where we are. Greymouth is my closest town. But I'm going to make this part 2 to part 1, right? It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder what he's up to. Anyway, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to try and stop the leaks on my roof. I'm going to do as the Lord commands.